WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan is booed out of Los Angeles during the Monday Night Raw premiere episode on Netflix. We've got the internal reaction as well as the reaction from Hulk Hogan himself. Obafemi is the brand new NXT champion, winning the title at the New Year's Evil special. Julia is the brand new NXT Women's Champion. Stephanie Vacqua earns an opportunity at the Women's North American Championship. Lexis King wins the NXT Heritage Cup. Becky Lynch's return this past Monday on Raw during the Netflix premiere episode was reportedly scrapped for The Undertaker, but she has agreed to a new WWE contract. The Rock appears on NXT last night. A women's casino gauntlet is set for the AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage special. Several matches planned for WrestleMania actually took place during the Raw premiere episode on Netflix. The Young Bucks' first defense of the IWGP Tag Team titles is confirmed, plus who is going to be challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at AEW Grand Slam Australia. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with a reaction to what a lot of people were talking about coming out of Monday's premiere episode on Netflix of Monday Night Raw, and that is the reaction to Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. Now, Raw's debut on Netflix brought the superstars to Los Angeles, from Gabriel Iglesias and Vanessa Hudgens to The Rock and John Cena, The Undertaker, and WWE wasn't satisfied with just those performers, however, and they went for even more nostalgia by bringing out the Hulkamania version of Hulk Hogan alongside his manager, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. However, this may have been a miscalculation by WWE, since as soon as Hogan walked out, he was greeted by very loud boos from the LA crowd inside the Intuit Dome. Even as Michael Cole said WWE wouldn't be on Netflix without that man, and Hogan himself was pandering for cheers, the boos continued to rain down to the extent that Netflix's closed captioning read, quote, crowd booing. Given the extent of fans' dislike for Hogan over the last decade following the revelation of racist comments made by the former WWE champion, the reaction likely could have been anticipated. Now, Hogan was there to officially announce his new sponsorship deal with WWE via his Real American Beer, complete with its logo on the wrestling mat. As part of the multi-year partnership, WWE will become a minority owner with the company. The fans in the Intuit Dome, though, didn't seem to care, however, and let Hogan and WWE know it by booing him throughout his announcement and finally out of the venue. If you didn't see it or you wanted to see more angles of it, you can see a crowd reaction to this courtesy of TMZ Sports.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something, maniacs? I've been in this business for over 40 years, and the greatest part of my life was being part of this great WWE, guys. Partners over the years, but you, the fans, have been my greatest tag team partner because you guys have stopped me from thinking them dudes. Yo, I got a new tag team partner right now. I got Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer that I've teamed up, and in the past, I've had a whole bunch of partners down the line. I had incredible partners like, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I've had giant-sized partners like Andre the Giant. But the greatest partner that the WWE has ever had is the fact tonight we're making history, and the WWE is tag teamed up with Netflix, the greatest tag team partner of all time. So what you gonna do with the WWE?
Now, not a very good reaction indeed for the Hall of Famer. Now, more reaction to this has come from Sportskeeda's Dr. Chris Featherstone, who says that sources close to the situation have informed him that Hogan admitted that the reaction may have been a political influence. A statement made was, quote, he stood for what they didn't stand for, end quote. Now, the reaction allegedly did not shock the Hall of Famer, as he allegedly thought, quote, it might be 50-50 heading into the liberal city of LA. From here on, on, there might be an increased level of mindfulness regarding the cities he chooses to appear live and promote his brand to wrestling fans. Now, this is quite interesting, of course, because many have pushed back that it had nothing to do with politics, considering people associated with Hulk Hogan's political influence, like The Undertaker, who, of course, had President-elect Donald Trump on his podcast in the lead up to the election, got a loud reaction from the crowd in attendance. Triple H spent New Year's Eve with the President-elect as well, and again, got a very positive reaction to kick off the show, with many stating that it wasn't a political decision to boo Hogan, rather a reaction to his racist comments made over a decade ago. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know your reaction to it in the comment section below. Now, Obafemi is the brand new NXT champion. Obafemi defeated Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe in a triple threat match at the WWE NXT New Year's Evil event to become the brand new NXT champion. Femi became the #1 contender to Williams' title with his win in the Iron Survivor Challenge at Deadline in December, with Thorpe managing to con his way into the picture with a staged attack on himself to rule him out of the Iron Survivor match. He later revealed that he had staged it to become a credible complaint for Williams to give him a title shot. That subsequent title match saw a double pin finish, once more giving Thorpe a claim to be in Tuesday's title bout, rendering it a triple threat. Earlier in the show, Thorpe was shown to have apparently been attacked backstage, but General Manager Ava didn't wish to believe the same lie twice and brushed it off, maintaining the match would go ahead as planned and that would factor into things later on. Both the champion and the Iron Survivor made their entrance, but Thorpe was conspicuously absent for the start and much of the early goings. Femi appeared to have the match won with a set-out powerbomb to Williams, but Eddie Thorpe emerged and pulled the referee out of the ring. Femi then started hammering away at Thorpe in the ring, allowing Williams to hit the trick shot, but only for a count of 2. Williams had Femi scouted for a second trick shot, but Thorpe hit Williams with a steel chair, allowing for Femi to regain his bearings, hitting the set-out powerbomb one last time to get the pinfall, now over the former NXT champion. Now, it wasn't the only title change we saw last night. Julia is the brand new NXT Women's Champion. Julia is the new champion after besting the prodigy Roxanne Perez in the opening match of NXT's New Year's Evil special. Julia got the opportunity after defeating Sol Ruka, Ren Sinclair, Zarya and Stephanie Vacqua to become the Women's Iron Survivor at Deadline last month. Julia and Perez were evenly matched throughout the beginning of the bout, with Perez doing her best to keep the beautiful madness down on the mat. Perez hit a suicide dive to Julia on the outside of the ring and got her back in before going to the top rope. Julia met her there and hit a superplex, but Perez kicked out. Perez got Julia back to the mat and got her in a crossface. Julia got to the ropes, but the champion kicked off them and attempted a pop rocks, and Julia countered, but Perez kicked her out of the ring. Julia took down Perez on the outside with a big suplex, laying both women out. Cora Jade appeared and got Perez back in the ring, but Julia got there too just before the count of 10. Perez hit a pop rocks, but Julia kicked out. The referee ejected Jade while Perez got her opponent in an armbar. Julia was finally able to hit a Northern Lights bomb to Perez for the victory and to win her first championship in WWE. Now, Stephanie Vacqua, she'll be getting an opportunity at Women's Championship Gold in NXT as well. Vacqua, along with Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice and Cora Jade, competed in a fatal four-way on Tuesday's episode of NXT, with the winner earning a future shot at the NXT Women's North American Championship. Jade was also seen in the preceding match, as we spoke about, with Roxanne Perez losing her title. In the closing moments of the #1 contenders bout, Jade evaded a 450 splash from Jordan by rolling out of the ring. This in turn caused Jordan to crash into the mat beneath her and then fall straight into the path of a spinning back fist from Vice. Before Vice could do more damage to Jordan, though, Vacqua dumped her through the ropes and laid out Jordan with a package backbreaker for the victory. Looking ahead, Vacqua would now challenge Fallon Henley for the NXT Women's North American Championship at a time and date still to be announced. Henley herself was also in action last night as she, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix took a loss to Shotzi, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley in women's tag team action. Lexis King holds the NXT Heritage Cup. Lexis King is officially the NXT Heritage Cup champion after defeating Charlie Dempsey in a sudden death rules match on Tuesday's New Year's Evil special. Instead of Heritage Cup rules with multiple rounds, the man to score the first pinfall or submission would be awarded the cup. Last week, NXT General Manager Ava took the cup back from King as it was determined it couldn't change hands by disqualification. The week before, William Regal attempted to give King a pair of brass knuckles, which he refused. Regal hit King with them, then threw them to Dempsey. The referee ruled the match via a disqualification and initially rewarded King with the Heritage Cup. Dempsey had control over King in a majority of the match and even battled back quickly when King drop-kicked him out of the ring into the hands of his no-quarter catch crew stablemates. King then took to the top rope and dove on to all three of them, but Dempsey was back in control after a commercial break. King went back to the top and hit a crossbody, but Dempsey rolled through into a submission. King broke the hold and slammed his opponent to the mat. He then seemingly accidentally headbutted Dempsey in a low blow. Right as Dempsey attempted a leapfrog, King hit the coronation for the victory, officially becoming the Heritage Cup champion. Now, this is quite an interesting one when it comes to the return of Becky Lynch. Now, WWE reportedly had plans for the return of former Women's Champion Becky Lynch for Raw's debut episode on Netflix, but scrapped it for The Undertaker's brief appearance on the show. As per Bodyslam.net, Becky Lynch, who has been away from WWE since last May, was supposed to appear following Rhea Ripley's victory over Liv Morgan. The report claims that WWE decided to change from the original idea, which was for Lynch to get involved in the Ripley or after the Ripley Morgan Women's World Championship match. The report there revealed that Lynch will return to WWE television soon, and fans will quickly learn about her storyline heading into WrestleMania 41. The Irish star was reportedly in Los Angeles ahead of the landmark event that was held at the Intuit Dome, although hold that thought because there is conflicting information on this. Now, a recent report claimed that Lynch had been penciled in for a high-level WrestleMania plans and could return soon. Ripley defeated Morgan to win back the title she had to relinquish last April after she suffered an injury at the hands of Morgan. She also exacted some revenge from Dominic Mysterio, who tried to patch things up with her after she regained the title, landing a nasty low blow and following it up with a riptide. Following the victory, The Undertaker appeared on his motorbike, performing a lap around the ring before appearing beside Ripley and raising his fist in unison with the new champion, seemingly giving her the rub. Now, interestingly, as mentioned, there is some conflicting information regarding all of this. Now, the man did not come around on the Raw on Netflix debut, but never fear. Becky Lynch's highly anticipated return didn't take place on Raw, to the surprise of fans and talent. Fightful Select had reported that talent did expect her to see on the show. However, not only was she not on the show, she wasn't actually, according to SAP, at the show, which is in contrast to the previous report from Bodyslam. She was not planned for the Raw Netflix debut, and her appearance wasn't cut, as was speculated, according to Fightful Select. However, that doesn't indicate her future with WWE. It was confirmed that after her deal had lapsed in 2024, Becky Lynch has since agreed to a new contract with WWE. She appeared at some Netflix-related events, but had told people she was just there supporting. However, she's always been planned, according to Fightful, to make a return, and both WWE and Lynch expected to do business again together. Lynch was not at Raw on Netflix, and Fightful have been told that as of the end of 2024 that neither her WrestleMania plans or return plans had been solidified. Those that Fightful did speak to do expect her, though, to be factored in soon. So some contrast there, but I guess the key bit of news is that Lynch has agreed a brand new WWE contract. Now, The Rock made a very, very high-profile appearance last night on NXT, and he's reacted to the criticism of his way of handling Cody Rhodes on Raw this week. Now, despite past tensions between The Rock and the American Nightmare, January 6th saw the Final Boss and the American Nightmare share some light-hearted humor both on and off screen. On the show itself, The Rock told undisputed WWE champion to tell Mama Rhodes that he said hello, as he praised Rhodes for carrying the company over the past 12 months. The Rock would also appear on last night's NXT, and he addressed his change of approach with Rhodes, saying, quote, "This time last year, The Rock, the Final Boss, everywhere I went, every gym, every restaurant, every church, every strip club, I heard the same thing. Why are you so mean to Cody? Don't be mean to Cody. Cody's got to finish the story. Don't be mean. Oh my God." 1 year later, last night, Netflix, Raw, an amazing night we had, an electrifying night, a historic night. Last night, The Rock wanted to give props to Cody, wanted to give him his flowers. He's been kicking ass, carrying the company on his shoulders. And then, what did they say? You can't be nice to Cody. Don't be nice to Cody. Don't drink tequila with Cody. At the end of the day, let us all remind him that The Rock is the final boss, thinking 20 steps ahead. So the best thing for them to do is know their role, shut their mouth, and enjoy the ride The Rock is taking them on. Now, in addition to that, he also made a surprise appearance backstage with the general manager of NXT, his eldest daughter, Ava, as well as former NXT champion Ethan Page. Page, of course, has shown a more vicious side in recent weeks after losing his title and several opportunities to regain it towards the end of last year. First snapping a steel chair shut on Javon Evans' jaw, then last week slamming a toolbox on Cedric Alexander's fingers. He was shown backstage arguing with Ava about his actions, with his rationale that his actions had been replayed extensively and yet was nowhere to be seen on the card for Tuesday's show. Ava confirmed it was her show and she was calling the shots, at which time The Rock appeared behind Page, shaking his hand before warning him payback is going to be a bitch for his actions against Evans. He told Page that if he needed anything, he can come to him, before reiterating that while he was the final boss, so too was his daughter when it came to NXT, and Page would have to respect that for them to stay cool. Page agreed to his terms, leaving at the request of The Rock, as he said he would look forward to seeing All Ego on the main roster. The Rock and Ava then shared a moment alone, during which he said he wasn't sure what he was going to talk about yet, only for Ava to then encourage him like she would with another member of the NXT roster, though also with the warning the crowd had a different kind of passion than he would maybe be used to later on. Now, switching over to AEW here, a big match announced for AEW Maximum Carnage. AEW is attempting to kick off 2025 with a big bang, with their January 15th show in Cincinnati, Ohio, Dynamite Maximum Carnage, looking particularly loaded. The show will feature the first singles bout between Hook and Christian Cage, and Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match this Wednesday. Now, it will also feature a new spin on the Casino Gauntlet, with major ramifications for AEW Grand Slam this February in Australia. Taken to X Tuesday afternoon, AEW President, owner, and CEO Tony Khan announced the first ever AEW Women's Casino Gauntlet will be part of Maximum Carnage, with the winner receiving an AEW Women's World Championship match against Mariah May at Grand Slam. Khan didn't reveal any participants for the match. The Women's Casino Gauntlet represents the third variation of the popular match that AEW first unveiled last spring, joining the regular Casino Gauntlet match and the Tag Team Casino Gauntlet match, which was held in September. As with the other two variations, the women's match will feature competitors entering at random intervals, with the competitors having the ability to win the match before all participants have entered. Provided she participates in the match, the favourite will undoubtedly be former AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm. Storm not only has a built-in rivalry with former protege May, who defeated her to win the AEW Women's World Championship at AEW All In, but is an Australian native, making her the ideal challenger for Grand Slam. Storm and May have only crossed paths once since Storm returned from hiatus in December, with Storm showing signs of amnesia, having forgotten her previous success in AEW, while believing she only recently debuted. Now, going back to Raw on Netflix this past Monday, featured several high-profile bouts. Of course, the main event was CM Punk defeating Seth Rollins. This marked the first time the two men had clashed in a singles match since Punk's return at Survivor Series back in 2023. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley defeated Liv Morgan to win the Women's World Championship, and post-match, Ripley, as we said previously, shared a moment with Hall of Famer The Undertaker. Per PW Insider, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan were originally penciled in at some point for potential WrestleMania 41 bouts, but were shifted to the Netflix premiere. The move was made to show the importance of the Raw on Netflix debut internally from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. Of course, it remains to be seen what these four stars will be doing now at WrestleMania at the time of recording. Now, the Young Bucks, they're the brand new IWGP Tag Team Champions, and while they may have been working from home due to the Death Riders in AEW, the Young Bucks have been making waves elsewhere in 2025, as they not only made their big return to New Japan at Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th, but they left the Tokyo Dome as the brand new IWGP Tag Team Champions. It's the first time that Matthew and Nicholas Jackson have held the titles since 2018, and is the record 9th set of tag team titles they have held in New Japan. But their time with the belts could be short-lived, given who their first title defense is against. It has been confirmed via New Japan's social media accounts that the Bucks will defend the IWGP Tag Team Championships against Los Ingobernables de Japan's Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi, who were involved in a three-way match at Wrestle Dynasty but felt like they deserved their own 2-on-2 bout. And the match will be taking place at the February 11th The New Beginning in Osaka event, and will be the AEW EVP's first match in the city of Osaka since the 2018 Dominion pay-per-view, at which they won their first IWGP Tag Team Championships from Evil and Sanada, then of the same faction. And finally, we got an update here when it comes to Grand Slam Australia. We spoke previously about the Women's World Championship match taking place on the show, but what about the AEW World Championship match taking place on the show? Sure, Jay White may have taken a pinfall loss to Jon Moxley during the four-way match at AEW World's End for the AEW World Championship, seemingly eliminating White from the title contention, but the Switchblade has remained undaunted since, picking up a victory last week to secure the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match this Wednesday, while vowing to get revenge against Moxley and his Death Riders and win the AEW World title in the process. If nothing else, Dave Meltzer does believe White will get the chance to win the title. On Monday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer and co-host Brian Alvarez were discussing the comments made by New Japan announcer Chris Charlton at Wrestle Dynasty, where Meltzer let slip a prediction regarding the future of a Moxley-White match. Quote, I think White's going to do a singles match with Moxley somewhere, maybe in Australia. Now, though White has been targeting Moxley ever since the conclusion of AEW Full Gear, he has yet to get a straight singles match with the AEW World Champion, having to instead contend with rival Hangman Adam Page and Orange Cassidy, who will also part of the World's End four-way match. As such, a Moxley-White match in Australia would be fitting, as White hails from Auckland, New Zealand, Australia's neighbouring country. Whether White will have to wait that long is a legitimate question, however. Should White take advantage of his #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match and pick up a victory, he would receive a title shot against Moxley next week when Dynamite Maximum Carnage takes place in Moxley's hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.